Our skin is an incredibly important organ. It actually reflects the health status of all the other organs and systems in our body. When you ingest foods that are high in or even just well, then you initiate an inflammatory response that can start to really aggravate acne and cause more acne. Just not good to do. It's very clear that diets that are of the so-called low inflammatory type don't spark inflammation. Your skin is going to look so much better, so much healthier, more vibrant. It absolutely will impact your inflammation levels by reducing them. It absolutely will impact skin health and appearance. All of that is going to make you look more youthful. It's not an imagined effect. It is real.
دکتر اندرو هوبرمن تو این قسمت میایم بررسی میکنیم که چه رژیم‌های غذایی باعث میشه که پوست ما سالمتر، زیباتر و جوانتر به نظر بیاد. آره درست شنیدین، پوستی سالمتر و جوانتر با استفاده از رژیم غذایی. چون که معمولا وقتی ما راجع به پوست سالم و جوان صحبت میکنیم فکرمون میره سمت روتینای پوستی خسته کننده یا استفاده از محصولات آرایشی بهداشتی گران قیمت و یا انجام دادن عملهای زیبایی. اما خب سوالی که من از شما دارم اینه که اجداد ما چیکار میکردن برای اینکه پوستشون جوانتر به نظر بیاد و سالمتر باشه.
Any discussion about skin has to include a discussion about nutrition. Why? Your skin and your immune system have a very intimate relationship. It's bidirectional. Your skin reflects the status of your immune system in many ways.
با دیدن این ویدیو میفهمید چرا آکنه و یا همون جوشایی که روی صورت و پوست بدنمون زده میشه ممکنه یه مدت هم خوب بشه ولی باز دوباره برمیگرده و هیچ وقت درمان قطعی براش وجود نداره. میفهمید که چه چیزایی رو باید بخورید تا التهابات بدنتون کاهش پیدا بکنه.
Anytime we're talking about the immune system or skin, we need to take into account the gut microbiome and nutrition. So many people asked, what are the things that they should eat to have healthy appearing youthful skin? They also asked, what are the things that one eats that could exacerbate things like acne, and what can one eat in order to reduce their acne? So
و میشه گفت مرحله اول داشتن یک پوست زیبا و جوان داشتن یک رژیم غذایی خیلی خوبه. خب با بیس شروع میکنیم. رژیم غذایی یعنی چی؟ وقتی یه نفر ازت میپرسه رژیم چیه، یعنی اینکه تو از صبح تا انتهای شب چه چیزی رو مصرف میکنی، چه چیزی رو میخوری، وعده‌های اصلی چیه، میان وعده‌هایی که میخوری چیه و پس به طور کلی میگیم هر چیزی که ما از صبح تا انتهای شب میخوریم میشه رژیم غذایی ما.
Let's just start off with the basics. The vast majority of our food, if one desires to be healthy, mentally healthy, physically healthy, and a high-performing individual in any number of different things, cognitive, physical, or otherwise, we want to consume the vast majority of our foods from non-processed or minimally processed sources, so-called whole foods, so fruits, vegetables, if that's within your diet. Some people include grains, some people don't. I'm not here to discuss that. Of course, you're human, sometimes you'll ingest processed foods, but really trying to avoid highly processed foods is critical.
غذاهای فراوری شده یعنی چی؟ شما هر نوع بسته‌بندی یا هر غذایی رو می‌بینید که روی قفس‌های فروشگاه‌ها و سوپرمارکت‌ها وجود داره، اینا غذاهای فراوری شده هستن. حالا چه میخواد نیمه آماده باشه، چه آماده شده بهش مواد افزودنی زدن تا بمونه، اینا غذاهای فراوری شده هستن، مخصوصا فست فودها و به طور کلی غذاهایی که توسط شرکت‌های غذایی درست میشن و میگن غذاهای فراوری شده.
With respect to the specific foods that can improve skin appearance and skin health, it's very clear that diets that are of the so-called low inflammatory type, that don't spark inflammation, so these would be things that sometimes are referred to as the Mediterranean diet or a paleo-like diet. You hear these terms, but what are we really talking about? Mostly whole foods, minimally processed foods. Again, I'm an omnivore. I love fruit. I love vegetables. I do like rice, oatmeal, and some pastas. I like a great sourdough bread. I like butter. I like olive oil. I like meat. I like fish. I think I am representative of most people out there because I eat most all those things, but I also eat the occasional croissant. I also eat the occasional slice of pizza. I don't eat a lot of that stuff, but I eat it now and again.
همچنین دکتر هوبرمن ادامه ویدیوشو میاد از یک متخصص پوستمون نقل قول میکنه که
She certainly mentions collagen and bone broth. She also mentions various sources of omega fatty acids that are often lacking in people's diets that they should pay extra careful attention to get. So things like walnuts, flax, fatty fish. It's also suggested that we eat a lot of leafy greens, so dark leafy greens. You're probably noticing a lot of these recommendations are kind of typical for what people describe anytime they're talking about nutrition for health. And of course, we should get our colored fruits and veggies, so our oranges, our strawberries, the reds and oranges are critical out there. And she also highlights something very important that I want to reiterate, which is that we have a critical need for vitamin A for our skin health. Fat-soluble vitamin, it's very easy to overdose vitamin A if one is supplementing with too much of it. She recommends rather getting enough vitamin A from things like oranges, carrots, sweet potatoes. She recommends as much berry intake as is appropriate for someone and one can afford. The berries are so delicious, but they tend to be expensive. So you're getting the theme now. Inflammation is bad, not just for the skin, but for all organ systems of the body.
داخل این ویدیو دکتر هوبرمن زیاد از واژه التهاب استفاده میکنه. بخوام به طور کلی بگم، التهاب یعنی هر عاملی که باعث بشه پوست ما خراب بشه و از اون حالت زیبایی و جوان بودن خودش خارج بشه. التهاب میتونه قرمزی پوست باشه، زدن جوش یا آکنه روی پوست باشه و هر عاملی که باعث بشه پوست ما به هم بریزه رو دکتر هوبرمن بهش میگه التهاب.
It's not just about the high density of calories and the high density of taste present in highly processed foods. Those are problematic, but a lot of the issue with these highly processed foods is the high heat conditions used to make those foods stable on shelves or stable in packaging over time. The point is that when these highly processed foods are basically made, they involve the interactions between sugars and proteins and fats at high heat that make them stable on the shelf or in packaging, and those can be very inflammatory. And that can show up in the form of reactive skin. It can make your psoriasis worse. Yes, it can make your acne worse. It can make your skin more tender and painful. It can make your skin basically more reactive to some of the underlying predispositions you might have, either because of genetics or other things you're doing or not doing. Maybe you're going through a particularly stressful time. Maybe you're getting a little bit of extra sun and you're eating more highly processed foods, and those things are combining and making your skin break out or flush more than it would ordinarily. Again, there's so many reasons to eat most of your foods from non-processed or minimally processed sources.
در ادامه دکتر هوبرمن میاد بررسی میکنه غذاهایی که قند زیادی دارن و چربی زیادی دارن چه آسیب‌هایی میتونن به پوست ما بزنن. دقت کنید قند زیاد صرفاً شیرینیجات و شکلات نیستن. قند به طور کلی زیرشاخه‌ای از کربوهیدرات. حالا کربوهیدرات ها شاید بپرسین که شامل چه چیزایی میشن؟ برای ما ایرانی‌ها شامل برنج، ماکارونی و نون میشه. و یکی از عمده‌ترین علتایی که ما ایرانی‌ها دچار دیابت میشیم مصرف زیاد نون و برنج.
Ingesting foods that are excessively high in sugar, excessively high in sugars combined with fats, just not good to do. As you probably know, when you ingest foods that are high in sugars or even just carbohydrates generally that also contain a lot of fats, and in particular when those foods are highly processed, well then you initiate an inflammatory response and set forward a whole domino set of issues related to hormone pathways and cell growth pathways that make everything, acne, psoriasis, and overall appearance worse. Yes, your skin will appear to age faster. Does that mean you can never have a French fry? No. You decide what's best for you, but know what you're doing.
در ادامه در مورد میکروب هایی که با ما زندگی میکنن و داخل دستگاه گوارش ما به ما کمک میکنن تا غذاها رو بهتر هضم کنیم دکتر هوبرمن صحبت میکنه. شاید باورتون نشه خیلی از حالات و احساساتی که ما داریم به خاطر سیگنال ها و هورمون هایی که این میکروبا ترشح میکنن و روی بدن ما اثر میذارن. تا حالا با خودتون فکر کنید که آخ چی میشد الان برام یه پیتزا بخورم، آخ چی میشد الان یه شیرینی داشتم که میتونستم بخورم. احتمال خیلی زیاد به خاطر سیگنال های این میکروبایی که داخل دستگاه گوارش شما هستن.
As a segue to talking about acne, we need to talk about the gut microbiome. And this is a direct outgrowth of our discussion about nutrition. Here's the simple takeaway that I believe everyone should follow, not just for sake of healthy appearing skin, but also for sake of every organ and tissue system in your body, which is the data clearly show that ingestion of sufficient amounts of fiber, so prebiotic and probiotic fiber, so fruits, vegetables, sometimes this can also come from grains. Some people will supplement with additional fiber if they feel they need it, as well as ingestion of low sugar fermented foods. These low sugar fermented foods are powerful enhancers of the gut microbiome, and when the gut microbiome is healthy, you have reduced overall inflammation in the body. This is often reflected at the level of the skin. And basically, skin health and the youthfulness appearance of skin is enhanced, okay? This can also help with conditions like acne or psoriasis, especially in conditions where there's a direct immune system skin relationship that we'll talk about more in a little bit. Okay, so I highly recommend people have anywhere from 1 to 4 servings of low sugar fermented foods per day. And let's face it, low sugar fermented foods, if you find the ones that you like, are really great.
در مورد خوابم که احتمالاً همه ما تجربه کردیم، اگر شبی خیلی بد بخوابیم یا خواب کافی نداشته باشیم، فردا صبح که بیدار میشیم صورتمون قشنگ درکیده و برهم کرده. پس خواب کافی و با کیفیت باعث میشه که پوست ما سالمتر و جوانتر به نظر بیاد.
If you sleep well, your skin is going to look so much better, so much healthier, more vibrant than if you are not getting enough sleep. If you drink alcohol and you wake up the next morning, you know your skin's going to look puffy. It's not going to look good. Doesn't mean you never have a glass of wine. Doesn't mean you never have a beer or a cocktail if that's your thing. But alcohol consumed in excess, and it doesn't take much to get there, is going to cause sleep issues, microbiome issues. So get great sleep. Avoid alcohol in excess. Maybe avoid it altogether. Drink plenty of water. This sounds like such basic advice, but proper hydration is key. Get enough water and electrolytes. It absolutely will impact your inflammation levels by reducing them. It absolutely will impact your skin health and appearance in a positive way. And as we all know, our emotions impact the appearance of our skin. Get great sleep. And keep in mind that things that improve blood flow, reduce inflammation, give you lower stress, better sleep, all of that is going to make you look more youthful. It's not an imagined effect. It is real.
خیلی ممنونم که تا انتهای ویدیو رو نگاه کردید. امیدوارم که براتون مفید بوده باشه. سابسکرایب یادتون نره. خدا نگهدارتون.